This is Dr. Ariel Policano hosting the Genius Biofeedback weekly class. And it is my great pleasure to be here every week to educate you and to share information and to do live cases as part of the Genius community. We are a living, breathing community, and we're showing each other how to heal. This is self-empowerment at its best, learning to heal yourself through the direction of energies through the Genius Biofeedback. The Genius Biofeedback is just your training wheels to show you that you have the ability to heal yourself. And it is a guide that allows you to direct these frequencies in a way that you want to direct them. How do you want to shape your life? Do you want to shape your life for more money, more happiness, more abundance, better health? Biofeedback is a vehicle that allows you to have a structured way of creating the life that you really want. So it is my great pleasure to be hosting these classes, and we take volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer for a scan, I didn't have anybody who signed up before class, so and that's something you can certainly get in touch with me about, is to sign up before class starts, and or during the week, and then I can put you at the front of the line. So if you'd like to volunteer for a scan, let me know. I do have a few announcements down in the chat area. So if you look at your chat, and then in the newsletter that'll come out later today, we do have some exciting events. Event number 1 is January 28th. We're going to be working live with Dr. Carolyn Mine. So for those of you who have the Oil on Point panel, we'll be working with it today, and you have the book about releasing emotional patterns. So that book is something you'll definitely want to acquire. So those of you who use the Young Living Oil on Point panel, you'll definitely want to find out more about the system from the boss herself, Dr. Carolyn Mine. And we will also be doing live cases that evening. This is on January 28th at 7 o'clock Pacific. It's rather late due to Carolyn's schedule, but it will be all recorded. So it will be recorded January 28th January at 7 p.m. And we'll find out more about what this system is, how it was developed, and then we'll be also doing live cases with Carolyn, telling her what the genius is coming up with for Oil on Point, and then asking for her interpretation. So I absolutely love this concept, and she's so brilliant, and I'm so excited that we're going to be hosting this free class with her, and it will be an entree to a paid class. It'll be a 4-part series where we will take a deep dive into more commentary on the Oil on Point from her, and to really understand how do we release emotional patterns for good. So that will be really fun. On Thursday, this Thursday, the 17th of January, Karen McDonald will be joining me on a Facebook Live where we will be making live tonics, and a la our friend Tracy, we will be making elixirs. So tonics and elixirs, we'll be making them with the Remedy broadcast plate, and I'll be doing them live on Facebook, and then I will actually mail people out their elixir for free. So I'm going to be making a live elixir for people with spring water and the Genius frequencies from this broadcast plate, which gets connected to the Genius. I'll be doing that live on the air, and then we'll be sending that out. But who we want to volunteer are people who have downloaded the trial and do not yet have the Genius. Preferably people who have downloaded the trial in the last 7 days. And then people who have referred someone. So if you're a longtime user and you've recently referred somebody, like in the past 2 weeks, then we would also like to invite you to get a scan and a live elixir. So that is going to be great fun. Facebook Live, the link is in the chat area, and then I'll also be sending out the link. We'll be at the Energy Medicine Life Facebook group, and that's where we'll be broadcasting from. So again, we'll be making elixirs and tonics. If you don't have a remedy plate, the link for a remedy plate is down there. It's something that you may want to get. It allows you to make elixirs, sprays, cosmetics, all infused with special frequencies, whether they are specific for that person, or you could just infuse some gemstones or water with the 528 solfeggio, or all of the solfeggios, or all of the chakras. So you can have a lot of fun with a broadcast plate. It's really, really cool. So let's start with a scan. Okay, so a couple of questions here. Diana says, which time zone? So 6 o'clock Pacific on Thursday. So that is going to be 9 o'clock Eastern time, a little bit late. And then Betty Lou says 7 o'clock Pacific for Carolyn's class. And the free link is down in the chat area for you to click on. All right. So we've got Kathy here has volunteered, and Dave is here. Dave, I'm really glad that you made it to class. Excellent. I'm glad that we got you that link. All right, so I think we can work on Kathy. Any other volunteers? If you want to volunteer for a scan, let me know. And if you still need, okay, Edna's volunteering. So Kathy, you have a lot of information. I'm always a little hesitant to work on you because you have so much information, but let's go ahead and go for it and see how it goes. And we'll go ahead and put you in here. So I'm just going to turn this off for a moment so I can enter her information. And so she's saying that she's had a cough for the past weeks. Let's see if we can get her on microphone. So Kathy, I may turn on your you're going to be unmuted. So let's see if we can talk to you and find out a little bit more about this. Kathy, are you there?
I am.
All right. So I'm all a little intimidated to help you, but let's go for it.
Yeah,
and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I was in Florida a week before Thanksgiving at an integrative medicine conference. I did sleep in a moldy hotel room one night because my Airbnb fell through. And then Dad's wife had a cough like since September, and this was in November. But I came home fine, and then the day after Thanksgiving, so a week some later, I worked on a doctor friend of mine who was sick, and about 3 or 4 days later, I started feeling crummy, and I have not been able to knock it. I have, I'm taking enough stuff, so it's not like a bacterial thing, but I have thick phlegm in my lungs. My sinuses are, having some issues right now, and I just had a bad attitude for all that time too. I've had a hard time taking care of myself, and it reminds me why I need to get out there and do my work and offer it to people, because I need help too, and it just doesn't always go away on my own. So thank you for picking me today. I've tried so many supplements and my biophoton mat. I did some with the Genius, some Zyto stuff. I do all my emotional clearings, but not quite out. My attitude is getting better because I've gotten some help from talking to some other people, but so there's definitely some emotional things, and I tried just sitting in my bad attitude for a while to see if I could hit bottom so I don't have to go there anymore. So I'm looking forward to Carolyn's How You Get Rid of Stuff Forever class.
Oh, very cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and record your voice. So I'm going to have you say your name and then the AEIOU, and I'll cue you. So I'll start recording you in 3, 2, 1. I am recording.
AEIOU. I am Kathleen Kranz. AEIOU. I am Kathleen Kranz. AEIOU. I am Kathleen Kranz. AEIOU. I am Kathleen Kranz.
Excellent. Okay, and you guys will notice that the voice formats have returned. So people who are missing that, it's now available. Okay, so Kathy, I'm going to do a little bit of observation, see what's going on, and we'll come back and talk to you in a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So great. And anybody else who wants to volunteer, then go ahead and, now that we have the cameras here, you can actually, we won't do it right now, but if anybody, when we do the next case, if you want to uncamera yourself and show yourself, we can take a picture of you live. So, so I think, Kathy, we're fine with what we've got from you. The voice is, the voice is 86% of the algorithm. And so a large part of what you're testing is the voice, and it's very, very significant for that reason. So let's go ahead and hit begin analysis, and let's see what we see. So we're dealing with a chronic cough. a chronic cough, and we're going to be looking for the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual reasons for that cough. One of the first things I'm actually remembering to do is to go to the aura, and I'm going to test the aura first. So we'll test the aura and then we'll take a picture of the aura. Anybody could become a practitioner and could do this long distance. As a biofeedback practitioner, you could work from your home. Wow, whoa, it's like a blood red. That's absolutely fascinating. Whoa, what a color, huh? So very much sort of a heart color, but a very much like a crimson color. Very, very interesting. And we do have some physical stuff going on in here. So this is some physical stuff that we'd like to clear. A lot of it looks pretty good, but it's interesting. This, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's even better on screen. It extends all the way up here, and then we see some density across the head, which probably represents the cold. So, you know, when you look at this yourself, you can just say to yourself, what do I see in this picture? And just ask for your first intuitive impression. For some reason, I would get like an imbalance of the blood, like a stagnation of the blood. I'm wondering if you tried warming socks treatment, something as simple as getting some cold, thin cotton socks and some warm wool socks. And this is a very traditional naturopathic practice where you get the socks, you take a warm bath or you take a warm shower, and then you get the thin cotton socks in the coldest water that you can find, some ice water. And you soak them, and then you wring out the wet socks, and you actually put those socks on, but they have to be really, really well wrung out. And then right after you put on those freezing cold socks, you put on the warm wool socks, and then you get right into a warm bed, go to sleep. And when you wake up, usually your head is really clear because the blood flow begins to move. And that's also the goal of acupuncture, is to move the blood. So that could be just one simple thing that maybe we didn't think of. And even a nice warm castor oil pack over the abdomen and the liver area would be also really good. So I don't know if you've had a chance to do that as well. So I think we got a chance to get a picture of this, and then we'll go back over to here. So what are we seeing when we look up and down? Ooh, digestion, very interesting. Minerals are what part of what powers up your immune system. So, and you know, Kathy's working on this all the time, but I think she got emotionally stressed. So that was probably part of what happened. And then the mold could have been sort of a mitigating factor here. So we've got the mouth. That's interesting. I was testing myself the other night, and for some reason, mouth came up too. So really hard to tell what that is. I'm trying to always use all of these great concoctions for the mouth, but it could be a microbial imbalance. It could be a dental infection. It could be, you know, a microbiome, a gut problem. And speaking of the microbiome, I wanted to encourage you guys to really work more on your gut microbiome through food. Remember that healing the gut microbiome is really helpful to boost your immune system during the cold and flu. And I'm not selling any of this, but I did bring this with me for the class today. You guys, I have been putting so many of the natural krauts and fermented vegetables into my salad. I have a big salad every day. And this is something that will really, more than any acidophilus product, I promise you, you want to get this gut microbiome, this gut flora from food. And so I put a big portion of that in my salad every day, and that will really help to repopulate your gut flora. Remember, if you've ever taken antibiotics in your life, you need 6 months to repopulate your gut. And this will boost your immune system. It'll help you to produce better hormones. It'll help your mood to be better. It's very, very important to get some cultured food into your body every single day. So we also see enzymes, and enzymes would facilitate the metabolic process. So she could get some of her digestive enzymes in the mix. Also, the pancreas, having a healthy pancreas, again, part of good digestion, but when you have enough metabolic enzymes, that also helps your immune system, helps you to get better. So let's go down here, liver. So I would say castor oil pack would be good, small intestine. Even a colonic might be a good thing, or a coffee enema might be a good thing to sort of clear out the digestive system. Remember old grandma's medicine is that if you had to take some castor oil, so you'd sort of have a purgative effect. And we talked about good old, I think they're called the 42 capsules, which are Cape aloe and wormwood, are excellent for clearing the digestive system. So whenever there's a cold or a flu, you want to do something to clear out the digestive system, right? That's really important. And of course, you could do something to work on the emotional system. There's probably an emotional precursor as well. Like she kind of got something really, you know, upset her, irritated her, and she was trying to work through that. So I just want to mention, you know, Carol Ann, I know you've been having a lot of things go on for you, and we're sending you blessings and prayers. She just got out of a very serious condition. You know, we would be happy to see if we have some time to work on you this or next week. Even though you have been part of our class before, we do want to extend, you know, many blessings and prayers for you. We'd be happy to do some harmonizing for you. If not this class, then next class. And thank you so much, Kelly, for being here. Liza, wonderful, wonderful attendance today. Zuri Shaddai, thank you so much. Sherry is here. Sharon is here from Eugene, Oregon. Lisa's here from Canada. Thanks you guys so much for being here. So let's go back, and again, we just want to look up and down, like what is really in front of us? What are we seeing in front of us? And we're seeing the minerals. So let's go ahead and look at the minerals. Minerals are really an important part of getting the immune system in place. And we see some silica. Silica you can get from nettles. Nettles tincture, you can get silica. And we see some molybdenum. That's going to usually come up if you have a chronic candida infection. Selenium, obviously amazing for the immune system, very good for the thyroid. Go down to the bottom, what do we see here? Lithium, good for the brain. What you're looking for is lithium orotate in about 5 milligram dosages. You can take that daily for good cognitive function. We see some potassium, and interesting, you know, potassium helps to alkalize the system. And if you look at the traditional naturopathic books from the turn of the last century, around the 1920s and 30s, they literally gave potassium broth as a recipe. They would give these soups and broths that you would take when you have a cold, not a chicken broth, but a vegetable broth. So you want to get potato peelings, celery, carrots, and you want to just brew that and brew that and brew that, and, you know, just let it simmer. And then you're to drink the liquid, right? You just strain it, you drink the liquid, which is the potassium broth. What this does is it alkalizes, but potassium itself is like topping up your battery in the sodium potassium pump, but it's usually potassium we don't have enough of. And being sick for as long as she has, and the cough and everything, she may be losing potassium. So we want to get those. We're putting everything down into the main hold tray, and then we're going to take it into Progressive Insights. Right now we're gathering information, and your dialogue and your investigation of these energetic issues is something that it's raising your level of awareness and raising your client's level of awareness. And this is important in the healing process. We can also see that the Nogiers are a little bit on the low side, so you can test the Nogiers. And remember, sort of 2 really good resources to have are Carolyn's book for the oils on point, and really also the Genius Mastery Guide. So this is something you want to keep by your desk and look at, or the electronic version, and you can easily check in on what are the Nogiers that are coming up for that person. Because there are specific Nogiers that are really good. You guys should be using them in every single session that you're doing. You should definitely be considering running the Nogier frequencies. So let's look at the Nogier C coming up. This brings coherent frequencies. It's 1168. It brings coherent frequencies to the mesoderm that form the connective tissue, such as the ligaments, the tendons, the cartilage, the muscle, and the bone. It also forms the heart, blood, and lymph vessels, kidneys, ovaries, testes, spleen, and the cortex of the adrenal gland. So with Nogier C, it could be adrenal health was what is not prompting or bringing up her immune system enough. So let's get Nogier C in there. Let's go down to the bottom here. Nogier L is really interesting, you guys. This is good for emotional stuff because Nogier L is about finding balance between the right and the left brain. So Nogier L is 276 hertz. It brings resonance to the brain. The 276 hertz is helpful for difficulties with left brain to right brain communication. It specifically helps with dyslexia, concentration, memory issues, depression, and others. But what Nogier L is going to do is it's going to help the migration across the corpus callosum. So if there's an emotional trauma that's trapped here that's causing a 6-week chronic cough, this could be part of what helps to clear it, this left and right brain. The one I was thinking maybe was going to come up was Nogier A, which is for cellular vitality, but it really didn't come up that much. You could still use it at 292 hertz to encourage cellular vitality. So if somebody just needs a pick-me-up, you could put this frequency into water and just give it to them in water and just play the Nogier A into your broadcast plate with the spring water on top and imprint that frequency. So that would be one thing that you could definitely do. So then let's just look at the bottom here one more time. And then Nogier G. So G is intellectual organization used for memory, psychological disorders, nervousness, and worry. Interesting. Resonates with the cerebral cortex of the brain, involved with thinking, imagining, and creating. So really interesting. So let's include that. And let's see if it pops up as being something that comes up in the progressive insights as being very high, and take a look at that. So even if we just stopped here, you guys, and we only use these items, we could go to town. Like we have minerals, we have some organs, some things that physically are up for her, and we have the Nogiers. Like that would be sufficient. You could stop right there and do a 15-minute harmonizing and have it be really effective. So let's just, for the moment, let's just go to the progressive insights, and of all 3 of those categories, which are the ones that come up as being the most significant? So it's interesting that the pancreas, the lack of pancreatic enzymes may be slowing down the digestion, or maybe a need for more pancreatic enzymes. Once we get over 40 and certainly into our 50s, the pancreatic enzymes go way down from a lifetime of eating cooked food and not really supplementing with enzymes. It's not so much that it slows down your digestion, although that's important, is that it puts a drain on the metabolic enzyme supply overall. So you're at a deficit, so you're not digesting as well, but you're also not powering up all the other chemical systems of your body. So you probably want to get a digestive enzyme and a proteolytic enzyme. And a proteolytic enzyme might also break up some of that phlegm. And of course, I'm also thinking of N-acetylcysteine. I'm wondering if you've tried that to try to loosen up some of the phlegm and blockage that you're having there. Okay, so we said that Nogier C was about bringing the coherent frequencies to the connective tissue, the cartilage, the bone, and the adrenal. So this may be an adrenal at its core issue, just a complete adrenal burnout. So we just look at the top 3. We could run them for 1 minute, and then we're going to add some things in. But it's interesting that we could just here, we just want to sort of know what are the top items. And it's interesting that it's selenium, the pancreas, and the Nogiers. So something about the adrenals or the organs that needs the support. So we're sending 1 minute of energy, right? 1 minute of instant information, energetic information that's received instantaneously the minute that you hit the button. So her system is receiving this at this moment and deriving all of the benefits from it. I still don't know if we're able to, oh yeah, there we go. So I guess now, can you guys hear that in the, do you guys hear that in the, do you hear the tones now in the webinar? Let me know. And let's see if you have any comments here. Serapeptase to dry up mucus. Oh, so maybe we shouldn't use serapeptase to make it more flowing. We should wait on the serapeptase and use the N-acetylcysteine first and get everything flowing. Thank you, Dale. Is there an aloe and wormwood product that you recommend? That's a good question. I used to carry the 42 capsules. So Patricia, let me get back to you on that. Can you spell Carolyn Mine's name? It's down at the bottom in the chat area. It's MEIN, Releasing Emotional Patterns. All right. Not hearing the chimes, Karen, thank you. That is so strange. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. It has to do with the media, so we'll just mute it for now. So let's go back here and let's look at the aura and see what's going on with the aura. See what we see here in the aura. And good comments, you guys. No tones, not hearing the tones. Thanks so much, you guys. Okay. Oh, and it looks like Eloxa is, if you need more, Eloxa, are you there? Are you on Karen's link? Or Eloxa, if you're there, let us know your date of birth and maybe we can do another testing. Okay, so now it's interesting, this head cold, we do see it very clearly starting to move out of that area. So that's exactly what's going on. So Kathy, you're the perfect person to test today. And we do see some more densities around this side, when you're looking at the screen, the right side, but we definitely see the cold, the density, the imbalance, the physical issue beginning to move out of this upper area. So that's really good. She's responding immediately and very, very well to the frequencies. So then we kind of look up and down and we say, is there anything else that sort of stands out in the main part of the program, or is there anything else that I need to know? Often I'll check today's stress, right? That's a good one to always have in your wheelhouse, where you do a quick test on today's stress, because today's stress, even though it's 475, we look inside because we're interested in what are some of the other sort of the main physical highlights that we want to know about. So it looks like the Nogier C has told us maybe about the adrenal glands, but also about the connective tissue. And it seems like there's a deeper issue going on in the connective tissue, which may have nothing to do with the acute issue of the cold right now. So let's put that down there, the lymphatics, of course, and we'll look at the wellness and normalizing frequency panel that many of you got over the break, which has specific lymphatic frequencies, or specific lymphatic Hertz frequencies. We've also got some bacteria. That's not a surprise. So it may indeed be a bacterial issue. Now, okay, so let's go ahead and we'll turn my camera off because we're getting a little bit of heavy traffic here. And let's go down to the bottom here, and we're getting kidneys, fungus, and pathogens. Now, she did say mold. Remember, mold assessment came up, or she mentioned that she was exposed to mold. And so pathogens, we're not surprised, and kidneys. So the kidneys may be having trouble, drink more water, drink more fluid. They may be having trouble giving that support that she needs right now. So being exhausted, that could be a kidney jing issue. Or it could be the age too. This is an age where the kidneys we get kidney yin deficiency. This leads to hot flashes and so forth. So this may be a kidney. This could be good. Acupuncture could be good for this, or just balancing the kidneys could be really, really good. But now let's go to the, okay, we've got some chemical sensitivities and hormones down here. For time's sake, let's actually go to some of the cold and flu, and then we can do some flower essences and some oil on point and see what's coming up here. So, and Kelly, I might bring you into this if we do some oil on point, ask you for some of your feedback as well. So stick around, you might be driving. All right, so we've got, let's go ahead and type in the colds and flu, and let's look at the assessment here. So this is another panel that's available that a lot of you had basically gotten over the break. And this is really great for cold and flu season because it really does specify what's going on for the person cold and flu wise. So poor breathing practices. So, carbon dioxide, getting more carbon dioxide through deep exhalation and then holding and then allowing that carbon dioxide to circulate back into the body, that can be very alkalizing for the system. So for whatever reason, poor breathing practices, can be emotional trauma. We all get into this. Coronavirus, that's one of the viruses that causes the common cold, and it seems to be at issue today. And then we have H5N9, which is a specific, it's more like a flu, but it's coming up, it's resonating. Acute coryza is just some of the symptoms, right? That runny nose. And then this is a type of the flu that's sort of in the ethers somewhere there. Rest needed. So I don't know if that makes sense, Kathy. Maybe you might have been resting a lot. something going on with the throat. The nasal passage is blocked. I mean, that's exactly what she said, right? That's the, okay, sedentary lifestyle affecting. She might be more sedentary now. In her quest to heal, upper respiratory virus, we know that, nasopharyngitis, low vitamin D, she lives in the Pacific Northwest, so that could apply. Low immune system, the root cause. So you might want to employ some things like the medicinal mushrooms. We'll bring that one in, see which medicinal mushroom is resonating for you. A lot of you got that along with the guide as well. Lower respiratory virus. So it says it's actually in the lower part. Now be careful of that, you guys. If you get a chronic cough that's like sort of an overwhelming cough, you may choose to get a chest x-ray at some point. That is one thing that we were really warned about in school, is to make sure you don't allow a pneumonia to go unchecked. So it's something you want to get on top of. Or if you're sort of at that hesitant point, you know, go see your acupuncturist and have them do the cupping of the back and the front. That will really do an amazing job. It helps to, they say it helps to purge the evils out of the lungs. And if you've ever had this and you get those, like, they look like sort of hickeys, the little imprints, and that's where you had a lot of imbalance or stuck energy in the lungs. So that could be really helpful as well. Emotional stress, of course, the cough. The reason we employ these into the tray is because we're going to send frequency directly to the issue. So we may have no further education or information knowing that it's a cough, but we're able to send the information, we're able to send the energy right to the cough itself in order to remove that blockage, in order to create more harmony between ourselves and the cough or the stuffed up nose. And then we want to go to cold solutions. So which are the solutions that most resonate? We employ the frequency, and then we might employ some of the actual remedies themselves. Rose hips for vitamin C, red clover for the immune system. There's the wormwood aloe. I may be able to source these. I used to have them produced myself and carry them in my office. They're very excellent for cold and flu season, and just for a digestive cleanse. And they're rather gentle, but you'll get a good sort of purging the next morning. Yerba Santa, excellent cold remedy. Mullein, now mullein will help to soothe those passages. It may help the mucus to start to move. We've got eucalyptus, so you could do another really good one is, of course, a eucalyptus steam, where you put a couple of drops of eucalyptus in the water of the pot on the stove, or you take it off the heat first, and then it's sort of steaming, right? You put the drops in there, you put your towel over your head, and then you just allow steam inhalation. That's very, very effective. So that would be another one that would be good. Echinacea, telling us it's probably a bacterial issue. Elecampane, excellent for cold, flu, to clear the passages. Very, very good traditional herb for cold and flu. Lemon essential oil, good for the liver. You guys, citrus is probably really good for cold. Ligusticum, an excellent herb for cold and flu. Usnea, now this is for fungus. So very, very good for fungal infections. Let's get a few more in there. Tussilago is very, very good for cough. You know the brand name Robitussin? So that Tussilago is the original herb, coltsfoot. That's very, very good for helping you to clear that cough. Okay, now let's go back to the, so if you have my oil on point or the one that Kelly developed, it's going to be in Young Living. So we have Young Living, there are two of them. There's the Young Living oil on point, and then there's the affirmations. So we typically use this one, and then you can go to Carolyn's book to find the emotion that's related to it. One thing that Kelly and I have been talking about is providing more commentary. So that's something that we'll be working on, is like, how would you give meaning to peppermint on the thalamus point? That is a brain, that doesn't look like it's spelled right, but that's a brain, part of the brain, the thalamus, not to be confused with the thymus. So then we would go to her book, which I have here in front of me. Definitely get a copy if you're coming to the class. You can get it on Amazon for 12 to 15 bucks and free shipping. And so peppermint on the thalamus is fear of dependence. Very interesting, fear of dependence. Oh, and we're not going to actually, we're going to not look all of these up. We're going to put them down into the lower tray and actually do this unwinding and this interpretation in Progressive Insights. But let's look at the lowest one and the highest one just for fun and see if it comes up again. Into the future at 0. That's kind of interesting. Into the future on the infection point. Into the future on the infection point. So I'm not finding that oil in her. I think I don't have the 2018 version in front of me, and that may be why. So, oh no, I do have the 14th. I do have the 14th edition, but this is something we're working on. Oh, I do have it. It is in here. Okay. Into the future on infection is limited, feeling limited to some degree, feeling limited. So we're going to work on doing some more commentary. One thing you want to consider is, what is the oil? What is the meaning of the oil? What is the point? What would be the logical meaning of the point? If it has to do with infection, I mean, this isn't really a stretch. It has to do with infection. That makes sense. So what is the oil? What is the meaning or use of the oil? What is the particular point? Arteries would be about circulation, and then the emotion. So it's not totally like, you know, rocket science, but we do want to provide some more commentary, and we're hoping to get that from Carolyn as well. As we do live cases, we'll be writing down what some of her greater interpretation of the information is, which will be really fun. So we've got the fungus. I do think that the mold may have been an issue. We've got the cough itself coming up to the highest level of prioritization. And then we've got the inner child on the innocence point. So obviously some past stuff percolating up. I mean, that's, you know, again, this isn't rocket science. Like inner child on the innocence point suggests that there's some type of a trauma sort of asking to be cleared there. So inner child on the innocence. It's interesting that the emotion is about distortion, sort of looking at something in a distorted way. Let's get the lower respiratory and the upper respiratory. It looks like this is spreading, so you really want to get on top of this infection. Enzymes. I probably want to go back and do respiratory solutions because I don't know where that N-acetylcysteine is. I should add it to the cold and flu panel, so I'll get on top of that. Let's just play that for 1 minute, and then let's go back and sort of drill it down again and see what comes up. Let's go to your comments. How did you just get into the cold and flu pack? That's a separate panel that we offered over the break. It's still available, of course. And so cold and flu pack is in the libraries. It's 4 libraries and then a guide that tells you about all of the different things in the cold and flu pack, what they mean, what they're significant about. All right, so ozoned fresh spring water, and I'll be talking about the hydrogen water. And the hydrogen water I'm talking about is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen. It's not pure hydrogen, so we're talking about that. Let's see. Not showing it on the screen, sound breaking up a wee bit. All right, you guys, let me know if the sound is still okay. I might not be talking enough close to the microphone. Right frequencies are useful for chronic conditions. The sound is bad. Okay, let me turn the camera off again. Let me know if the sound improves now, you guys. Yes, but it comes up in all the libraries. I cannot search just that panel. Oh, I'll show you how to search for it. The sound comes and goes. It might be that I just need to stick closer to the microphone. Is that better? Better now. Okay, Barbara, thank you. Yes, I'll just stick a little closer to the microphone. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to look at the aura. I have this new, it's a large sort of a standing microphone, and I'm trying to get used to, probably I'm navigating too far away from it. Okay, and Lisa S. And Beatrice is here. Well, what a great group we have today. We're finalizing the plans on a May in-person class. So an in-person class in the first weekend in May. Mark your calendars. I'll have information on that soon. Thanks so much to Liza for finding a suitable location in San Diego. So it looks like I'm going to be in San Diego for a live class. It'll be a level 1 and a level 2 class in the first weekend in May. So mark your calendar, first weekend in May. We're going to have a wonderful time. I think we're going to get a great turnout for that class. It's going to be level 1 and level 2, the basics of the genius, and then advanced cases. So how to work on cases specifically. Step 1, step 2, step 3. to really empower you to feel more confident. Now we're starting to cook with gas here. I think we're really making some progress on clearing out that innocence, that inner child on innocence, I think was a key point here. I'm going to stay closer to the microphone. And we're seeing a wonderful opening up of the energy. I love the watercolor of this because it suggests incredible cleansing going on here. And then we've got some rose emerald. This is all about connecting with the heart. There's a little bit of digestive distress up here, but I believe it's going to clear out. So this is a beautiful progression for Kathy. I think we're going to see that this cold starts to move out significantly. Now, I just wanted to go to respiratory solutions, and I will show how to find the panels. So how you find panels in your library, you go to libraries, and then there is a search box right here. Type in the one that you would like to look at. So I just wanted to go to respiratory. Wait, is it in here? Yes, it is. Okay. So I wanted to go to respiratory herbal solutions, but I may not have N-acetylcysteine in here anyway, so I guess I need to add it to both of the panels. So some of them coming up that came up before. Yeah, sort of the same ones. Interesting. Well, I'll get that in there. Okay, so then we want to go back here and we want to go again, we want to type in young living and we want to go back to, we already tested that. So we don't actually have to retest. So we just want to go back to progressive insights. It is a little early still here on the West Coast. So yeah, we already tested it. We want to go back and we want to drill everything down again. So now we've got black pepper. Think about black pepper, circulation, movement, relieving stagnation, the mastoid portion of the temporal bone. So think of the TMJ. So maybe there's some grinding, or maybe there's a lot of emotions can get caught up. I know one thing Kelly and I talked about is TMJ can block the arterial flow, which is really interesting. So when you don't have good circulation, it's hard to get better. There's stagnation. So the thing about black pepper is it's under P for pepper. So it's under P, pepper black. I don't think that's a great idea, but you know, there it is. So it's pepper black and temporal bone mastoid portion being in a black hole. So I wonder if that's maybe how the holidays felt, or maybe how this cold feels, just sort of trapped in a black hole. So that's interesting. And then there's the selenium. The biggest need we see here for the immune system is the selenium. Mullein will help to soothe those passages and will help to get the flow going. Emotional stress is the cause, echinacea and small intestine. Let's include all of those, and we're going to do another minute. It's really interesting, out of all of the oils on point, that's the one that elevated to the top. You don't even see any other ones close by or in the neighborhood. So that's kind of fascinating. Yes, this class is being recorded. Yes, black hole, trapped, feeling isolated. I'm taking selenium, do need something to absorb it. Okay, let's actually talk to Kathy as we finish up this case. It's been a great case. We're so grateful, and I really hope that this helps you, Kathy. Kathy, so tell us a little bit about your impression of the information as we've been testing.
Yeah, I was like not moving a lot, and then feeling very trapped, isolated, like this will never end, and I can't, invite people over. I can't go out.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then I'm taking, I've been taking silver and, all kinds of, symbiotics things, all kinds of different things for support and clear lungs and all kinds of stuff. So I think I keep it above board, but I don't know when I would check if I had like a pneumonia or something, how else you check, if they can check for bacteria through a culture or anything. That would be a question.
They do a chest x-ray, but I mean, is your cough constant, and is it really deep, and like,
I'm not coughing constantly, but like there's really thick stuff that comes up, and probably I need to.
Well, what color is it? What do you know? Does it have a color to it?
Sometimes a little greenish, but a lot white. But I'm taking, oregano oil and silver and whatever. So I don't know. So maybe still more viral somehow.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So that's always the risk, is if it's bacterial, if green is coming up. So the way that we know usually bacterial pneumonia is the person looks really sick. And they do have some type of colored phlegm, and they have a high fever. So if you don't have a high fever and you're not having a lot of colored phlegm, I mean, you're probably on the safe side. It's just that if things would get worse, the chest x-ray tells if you do have bacterial pneumonia, this is not a medical diagnosis or a consult by any means.
I
You
understand.
definitely redirect it. Yeah, totally. Okay.
Yeah, so the and I know other people have had this for a long time, so it's going around,
Yeah, the
but
creeping crud. Yeah, the creeping crud is sort of world famous in Washington and Oregon.
right now, and let's see, I did do some blood work, and it said my um glucose was high, my fasting glucose. I don't know if I waited too long in the morning and it like dumped, my glucagon or something, and or what, but it was like 109 or something, and so that's pancreas came up. So I don't know. I just was thinking about that, but definitely feeling stagnant and needing minerals, but not being able to take them in somehow. Trying some fulvic minerals I've been trying recently. So picked up some of the similar things, and then just feeling like, well, it's kind of innocence on the child point, just feeling like, wow, all my kindness, all my whatever is just worthless in this world. That's kind of been my month of nice people get screwed. It was a weird energy. I have not sat in this. And so,
Oh, so you're really moving through something kind of profound. It did seem like something from childhood was coming up.
yeah, so that's interesting, just about, because that's my essence, is the kindness and caring about people. And so
Yeah.
that's no good. I'm no good. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being part of our class today.
Yeah, thanks for your help. I'm looking forward to a very quick recovery here.
I think it's on its way. Look at how your energy cleared in this final look at your aura.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
All right, Kathy, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah, that's a great case, you guys. So thanks again, Kathy, and we're really looking forward to hearing that you're feeling better. I really hope so. I know we had a couple more volunteers for, so I have a date here, but I don't have a name. So the 12th January gal who's, can you send me a full name, you guys? And I'll try to work this in right away. So again, thank you so much, Kathy. And remember, we're having a free lecture on the 28th of January. It's down in the chat area, you guys, if you can find the chat area. So if you can find that, I'm going to rejigger the client here and see if we can get this set up and find out what's going on here. And then we do have a tonic creation class on the 17th of January on Facebook Live. So come hang out with us and see us make live tonics and talk about cases. Karen will be joining us, Karen McDonald. So that will be really fun. So I'm trying to get this entered here. So I can't say the year, but we've got 12th January and I need a name. As soon as you can get me a name, that would be great. And are they on today? Okay, there we go. Is she on the webinar? So let me know if can we unmute her? She may be one of yours. Maybe she's entered through your link. We'll figure all of that out together. All right, so we'll get all of this. I'm just about to get this entered. And remember, if you have one of your clients that you'd like me to work on Mondays, you can send me that during the week and I'll put them up. I'll get them all queued up for Monday. So you definitely can send that, or if it's yourself and you want to volunteer. Good volunteers are people who are just really getting introduced to the genius. And this is a great way to bring your prospect to the class and let them get a scan live. So, all right, what a great name to be able to enter here. So let me go ahead and get that. And are we going to be able to get a live voice? And also just let me know what's going on. So can we get a live voice? Okay, so let me go up to the top here. This might be the real Karen. So who have we got unmuted right now? Is this Karen or Elaxa? Nope, nobody there? Okay, let's try the next one. Hello, are you there?
Well, this one's Karen, so but I think you're looking for Alexa, right?
Yeah, but I don't see her on. I see her maybe that she's used your link, but I'm not getting any response from her. So
That
why
may
don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on for her?
Alexa's over on the West Coast there and just having, really deep memory problems and stuff like that. And she's connected with an incredible amount of people I was talking about, like Daniela and Stefana. So we're going to do this. She's a former skill practitioner as well.
Oh,
So
cool. Okay.
yes. So that's why she probably did it. I probably just shot her that last night going, I just want you to get in. But she just was able to finally download it. So that's what we're looking at, some memory and not feeling well, being maybe in Whistler and stuff like that. Could be some West Coast stuff, some respiratory, all sorts of stuff has been going on. So she also feels like really drained and fatigued, and like the
Okay.
ability to focus, generalized, fatigue, that kind of thing. So we thought we'd take a look at this and see what we could do. And I know her mom was quite concerned. So it was actually a three-way. There's three of them in almost the same boat. So if you could
Okay.
take a look, that'd be great.
Okay, that sounds really good. Brain, memory, energy. Let me unmute you, Karen. I mean, mute you, Karen, and then thank you. And I'm going to try to her one more time here. So, Elaxa, just one more time. I'm going to unmute you here. See if you can get to the microphone or just say something and see if we can hear you. So it looks like you're unmuted, but then we can't hear you. Hello, hello, hello? No. All right, that's not going to happen. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll just wing it. We'll do the best we can with the voice, and I mean with the name and date of birth, which has a lot of energy as well. And we do have some good questions coming in. So Marie says, in Progressive Insights, once the analysis is done, do you always select the top ones or do you run them all, knowing that a different emphasis will be given to according to high, medium, and low? So Marie, this is a very personal decision on your part, what you want to do. You certainly can hit select all and run all of them. I like to do the top items because I know if I resolve the top items like a set of dominoes, everything else will begin to fall into place. So I ask the energy field to give exclusive attention to the top items as a way of prioritization and a way to let the energy field just focus on what it does best, just a few things. It's not to say it can't focus on other things, it absolutely could, but that's just my personal preference. So you guys, when you look through here, we've got, so we want to always say the range of age, and I don't know why, being a numbers person, I can't ever add and subtract, but we're talking about a woman in her early to mid 30s. And so I don't think we should see this much depletion because we do see a lot of depletion. I'm surprised right in here. So this is definitely something that catches my eye, and especially with today's stress being the physical things being about 9, that's something that definitely catches my attention. So let's look at the aura first. And we do see electrical sensitivities, and electrical sensitivities being, I don't know, are we in the Los Angeles area? Is that where we are? That could be, a huge cause of what's going on. I really don't envy anyone today who's in a large urban area. I am in Portland, but I'm outside of the urban area. And in fact, there's free wireless all over Portland, which has prompted some doctors to tell people not to live in the downtown Portland area because you're just in a sea of wireless wherever you are. All right, so anyway, it's a beautiful aura going on here. We don't see a lot of that physical stuff. I wonder if Karen's been working on you at all, if you've been working on yourself. We do see maybe a little bit of liver and digestive going on the, as you're looking at it, the left side of the screen or the right side of the person, but there's this just absolutely beautiful pink energy in here. And up here in the head area, this is probably where some of the physical stuff is residing, but it looks like it's already releasing. So let's just go here. And so let's go back and look at this in a bit more detail. So let's just start right at the top. And so the body, if you notice, the body has been chosen as the priority area because body, mind, and spirit always come up differently, right? Sometimes it's mind on the top, sometimes it's the biofield on the top, but body is right at the top, suggesting, physical stuff going on. And we do see electrical sensitivities for sure at the very, very top, which definitely catches our attention. Whew, there's that UHF again. That is so bizarre. We're going to have to really chunk in the research on this and find out What exactly is something new going on with UHF? Is it, I don't know. Okay, so here's radio waves, electrical appliances. This is really interesting that it isn't Wi-Fi or cellular stuff that comes up at the top level of priority, and maybe she's consciously avoiding those things, and it's the other things that are coming up as priorities. So that's sort of interesting. The next thing, as we sort of scroll down here, we start to see a lot of blue in herbs, hormones, which is really weird for somebody so young, right? We usually see hormones disrupted in the sort of perimenopause to menopause time. And then we see infectious disturbance and today's stress. So let's peek at today's stress. So this is something that you're sort of sorting out. You're looking at patterns. You're thinking about what is depleted, is something over, is something under. Now, this is interesting. See, a person in their 30s would have kidneys in red. A person in their 50s is more of the age range of our last person that we worked on, is going to have more kidneys in blue, typically, right? Because this is younger kidney jing, and so they're going to tend to be more hyper. They're going to tend to, so red is more, you're still able to generate a response, and blue is more chronic and more depletion. So that's kind of interesting. So kidneys, emotional, and then we go down, what's in blue? We've got some type of bacteria. It could just be an underlying bacterial issue. It could be an actual infection. It could be like a live acute infection, some type of hormonal issue. We see fungus. This could be mold or candida. We've got an adrenal challenge and an immune challenge going on. Some connective tissue stuff. Okay, then let's look at, I don't give a lot of credence to infection energetic disturbance. In fact, I often don't run it, mostly because I don't want people to freak out because they think they have Lyme. Everybody probably has Lyme to some degree. We've got virus and bacteria. So now we actually are getting an impression that there is something going on with the immune system, and that indeed some type of underlying virus could be Epstein-Barr. And we could peek at that up here. We could just go here, we could go to virus, and we could just put in, by the way, this has changed. And if you want to do all, you can still do it, but you have to do it up here, tap on all, and then you have to use the scroll to find the all function, which is here. So you still can do all, but you have to scroll to it and find it here. So that said, we can actually put in Epstein-Barr, and we can find it right here, and we can scan for it. And let's just see if that resonates. Let's see if we're getting any feedback from our client here. The UHF is 3G plus likely the 5G activation. I don't know if that's true or not. UHF are used for cell phones, GPS, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, but maybe it is. UHF is ultra high frequency FM and TV radio waves. Oh, yeah, actually, you're correct. It says mobile phones, cell phones, 3G wireless, and satellite communications. Well, we want to do a deep dive into that and find out, why is UHF more active now than it's ever been? We've seen it in all the scans recently. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is 5G. I don't know for sure. Let's actually include Epstein-Barr. At 48%, there's a good chance that indeed Epstein-Barr is part of the equation here. So let's now look at hormones and see if there's anything interesting to look at here. Again, this is more of a fatigue and a brain issue, but we didn't really see brain show up that much. We've got endothelin, this is the vessels, thyroxine, let's go down to the bottom here. We've got gastrin, so this is something to do with the digestion. Testosterone, I'm surprised to see testosterone out of balance to somebody so young. Insulin, let's not worry about the rest of them for right now. Let's actually go to, let's just go to the mind and look at brain. Well, that's actually brain anatomy did come up here, so I was mistaken there. All right. So why have you used, Darlene asked a really good question, why have you used some of the items that were in green, saying they were challenges when they were 100 plus, i.e. adrenals? Because in my experience, items that are 200 and below are quite significant. The developer made a choice to cut it off at a different number. I think it's 100 and below, just because people were overwhelmed by how much blue and red were coming up for them. But in my experience, anything below 200 or above 600, you still want to consider as, does it make sense for the case? And in that case, I do include it. And it never is a problem to include something that may be, you know, at the 200 mark, because the progressive insights is a retest that will retest and see, was it significant or was it not significant? So you never have to fear putting too many items into the tray. We're going to go a little bit over time here, you guys. I'll try to speed it up a little bit. And frontal lobe, basal ganglia, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. These are probably just functional issues. Theta is good for any kind of habits that we're trying to break. Low beta, let's see, low beta is low focus, you know, having trouble focusing. Let's actually go to the brain assessment in the libraries. I think we didn't add the libraries to this client yet. So let's go ahead and, oh, there they are. I think I had hit the automatically assign all libraries to all clients, which that actually saved me time today. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is going to switch in just a second. Let's get the final. There we go. So wow, interesting that AD and ADHD. So maybe an adult ADD kind of a scenario going on here. So Wernicke's area is a part of the brain that has to do with speech. That maybe that's something going on there. Serotonin and possible dopamine. The waves too slow. See, even though that's 213, my eye is kind of picking that up, and that's an ADD. That's why ADD people are attracted to stimulants, because it actually helps to speed up the waves. The waves are too slow, and that sort of calms them down, these brain waves that are needed. Microbiome 2, less favorable bacteria, so there could be a gut thing. Insomnia, I wonder, is sleep an issue? But let's go ahead and look at some brain assessment. So let's type in brain, and let's look at the brain assessment and see what's going on with the brain, because that was one of her main concerns. So dopamine, there might be a dopamine imbalance here. And mucuna is an herb you could use for that. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor at 0. So what we want to get in then is some high intensity, some sprints, or some quick heavy weightlifting, or bike riding where you're doing some quick bike riding, something that's going to get your heart rate up, and those bursts will help to produce more brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Glutamate suggests that the brain is working too fast, so we're getting an impression of like an ADD, sort of a low beta, difficulty concentrating, and needing to definitely remedy the brain in some way. And then let's look at, there's that interesting about the brain waves, there's brain treatment. So let's look at some supplements that might be helpful here. And then we'll also look at oil on point as well. So I was just talking, I don't know if Shar is here today. We were just talking about oil on point. So we've got huperzine A. This is something that increases the acetylcholine in the brain. So there could also be an acetylcholine deficiency. We see DHA, which is, I like to get the one from microalgae that helps to feed the brain. And phosphatidylcholine, be careful with choline, but you could take a little bit as a supplement to help the brain function. You don't want to get too much choline because it can also be inflammatory. So mucuna, there's that mucuna, which is used to help the dopamine. So that might turn out to be a very significant. If you're on the trial, go ahead and email me and I'll send you brain assessment and brain treatment, Alexa, in order to use these during your trial. And you want to run probably that dopamine and mucuna frequency every single day. Then ginkgo for brain function. I actually took 2 ginkgo today before I got on to the class, because ginkgo will help to improve that circulation in your brain in a very positive way. Resveratrol is a powerful antioxidant to help to protect the brain. So that's what I'm kind of seeing here. And we also do have brain solutions. So let's go ahead to brain solutions. And these are more lifestyle things to change for the brain. So nothing really going on up here, but we've got probably a lot more down in blue, a little bit. Really weird about the hormone thing. Is there anything obvious, PCOS or any hormonal problem that you know about? Menses, anything going on there? Infertility, some things that you know about, something weird going on with the hormones. We should do hormone assessment too. Inflammation. And see, infection is kind of borderline, going back to Darlene's question. I would still include it. And so to that end, maybe look at inflammation. We wanted to look at hormone assessment. So type in hormones, and let's just look at, see, interesting, PCOS hormones came up. Let's just go ahead and take a look at that, because that age is kind of common these days for PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, so something going on with the hypothalamus, something going on with the uterus. We go down to the bottom, something going on with the ovaries. We're not getting a lot here. Where are the rest of the, let's do hormones assessment, see if we get anything else coming up in the hormone assessment. We're getting sort of low progesterone, estrogen metabolism imbalance, melanin, prolactin. I don't see anything significant about those. I tell you what, I'm having trouble sort of finding out what the real issue is here. But I do think it's an attention brain issue for sure, where we do need to balance some of the neurotransmitters and brain chemicals. I do think that would be helpful. Let's even just type in the neurotransmitters here. Nope, it's not going to happen here. It has to go back here. Let's look at the neurotransmitter assessment and see if we can find out something a little bit more. And let's see. Oh, Cheryl says testosterone has come up 3 times. So testosterone being out of balance for a younger person like that is usually PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, where we're not getting the right amount of testosterone. It's actually converting to something called DHT. And so you're getting more of the androgens. So there might be some acne along the chin area. There might be some hair thinning, and there might be an imbalance in the cycle. So we're getting an imbalance of norepinephrine. This could be an adrenal issue. We're getting the dopamine again. So common theme about the dopamine, look into the mucuna and then balancing the dopamine. And there's the glutamate again, talk about consistency, and there's the GABA. So the GABA helps to correct the brain waves, where we saw the brain waves were slow. And then the glutamate, again, it's a sort of a fight between GABA and glutamate. So too much glutamate is sort of that excitotoxin effect. And then the GABA helps to calm everything down. All right, so let's go to neurotransmitter solutions, and then we'll go to Young Living, the oil on point. All right. All right. Okay, so MDs put on antibiotics saying kidney bladder infection, yet nothing in the cultures. Well, we should look at that. Tyrosine comes up as a neurotransmitter solution. L-theanine, again, this is a very much an ADD. This looks like an adult ADD kind of a case here, and a hormonal imbalance. So like a PCOS and sort of combination of ADD. I think that's probably going to sum it up in terms of those are the main issues, actually. Let's look, I just want to look at PCOS solutions. PCOS solutions. And let's see what comes up here. And then we'll look at the kidney assessment, a casein-free diet, B-complex vitamins, a grain-free diet, proteolytic enzymes, dandelion for the liver, borage oil, evening primrose oil for the progesterone, a gluten-free diet, and gymnema. So there's also always with PCOS, there's a blood sugar issue. That's kind of interesting going on there. Okay, and then we just wanted to look at kidney assessment. So they gave an antibiotic for kidneys. So let's look at kidney assessment, see what's going on there. And then we'll get to the oil on point. So we've got GFR abnormal. That would be really weird for a young person. Let's just say it's energetic, some electrolyte imbalances, some kidney stones, and some type of inflammation and kidney infection. See, I would include it though, going back to Darlene, even though it's 220, because it's so significant, I want to see if it pops up in Progressive Insights. So before we go to oil on point, let's just see what out of all of these comes up as being sort of priority here. Something going on with the ovaries, that's the cycling. So hormones play a significant part here, even though it wasn't mentioned right at the beginning as being part of the things that, you know, are most up for this person. And then we've got some inflammation, Wernicke's area, so an imbalance in the brain. This is about speech, progesterone, more need for magnesium, which helps to regulate hormones, adrenal, something going on with electrical appliances. See, I'm going to include all of these because I don't feel like I've gotten to the core issue yet. So I'm going to play those for 1 minute. Sort of need all of those to kind of feel like I am sort of putting my arms around the whole issue. I feel like I needed to include all of those high priority items. Now, it isn't anything bad if you include too many or you don't include enough. You really can't get it wrong in biofeedback, you guys. Use your intuition. The more you trust your intuition, the better results you'll get. And you're never wrong. You're just working in combination and alignment with the body's innate intelligence. So really the person is doing most of the work. We're just providing gentle pushes, and you can't get it wrong. Just go with your intuition. If it says, like with Marie, if it says to select all, then just select all. If you feel selecting all is best, select all. If you feel like you want to do every high priority item, do every high priority item. If you feel like you just want to do a few of them, do a few of them. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We're going to bring in oil on point, and we're going to wrap up in about the next 5 to 7 minutes. So if you guys want to hang in for the final analysis here. So let's go back now to the aura and see how the aura has shifted. So this is what we started off with, and then we did a minute sort of working on the hormones in the brain to sort of correct that and see what's coming up here. All right, and then we'll go to oil on point, and we'll do those. We'll do the young living oils on point, and then go to the book and see what the emotions are. This was a wonderful response, very, very responsive to biofeedback. And just a lot of really high vibrational healing energy. Sort of was able to take that 1 minute of frequency balancing and just, you know, absorb it and pull it in and really, really drink that energy in. So it's looking really, really good. I think some of the physical stuff is moving out over here. So that looks good. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. And then let's go to the young living oils on point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the libraries down here. And then I'm going to start typing in Young Living. This is where they're located under Y. And we look at all the different Young Living. We're actually just going to do the oil on point today. All right, some of your other comments coming up here. Barbara says it reminds me of Lyme brain. And the things that are coming up are common with my Lyme issue and the causes of many issues that are coming up, but you don't need to read this out loud. You put that at the end there. That's okay. We can take your comments, are fine. But yeah, it might resonate with having a chronic infection in your brain. So maybe that's sort of what the match is there. It's hard to say what Lyme brain is. It's hard to say what Lyme really is. Because so many people seem to resonate with Lyme and what true Lyme is, or is it a form of some type of pleomorphic change in the body as a result of conditions in the body, like anaerobic conditions or acidic conditions, and that causes the proliferation of some type of a Lyme experience. And it isn't the true Lyme that we think of that comes from a tick. It's a little bit hard to say. So I included the top red items and the top blue items in order to do this oil on point. 5 grams of inositol is good for PCOS, and I also like the dichloroinositol for that, the dichloroinositol. All right, so now Kathy says to check prions. I would never have thought of doing that, so I don't remember where I have prions, somewhere probably in the infection assessment. We could certainly look at that. All right, so inflammation comes out at the top. So there's some type of an infection or something causing an inflammatory process going on here. Ginkgo, asking for more circulation to the brain. That might help a lot of the brain stuff, you guys. Just simple ginkgo. And ginkgo is one of those things that you could take every single day and have it protect and cultivate good brain function. So that would be a great sort of, if you have a few supplements in your wheelhouse that you want to take every day, this would be a good one to take. Harmony on the so harmony on the blood point. Okay, so harmony, just think of harmony, just in general, think of what the harmony oil is about, and then it goes on the blood point, which is feeling crushed. Feeling crushed. So was there something at some point that made you feel, you know, that emotion? That's a very strong emotion. Then we've got ginkgo and we've got gathering. Now, something going on with the kidneys also come up again and again. So whether it's kidney infection or kidney energy, something in the kidneys asking to be cleared. So, and then we've got gathering, the energy of gathering the oil and the meaning of gathering the oil, and then the kidneys. So gathering on the kidney is just says it's a bad feeling. I don't know. These would be good things to just ask Carolyn about, because I certainly am befuddled by some of these interpretations. So let's do that for 1 minute. So it does seem like we're clearing some past trauma in this process. That sounds like past trauma. All right, and so we're gonna wrap up in just a few moments. We'll do one more oil on point drill down and look at the aura. Remember, the 28th of January at 7 o'clock Pacific, Dr. Carolyn Mine will be joining us on a webinar like this. Make sure you're signed up. And then this Thursday, go to Energy Medicine Life on Facebook, Energy Medicine Life. Join that Facebook group. That's where we talk about topics regarding energy medicine. And that is where we'll be doing our tonic creation. So if you've just downloaded the trial recently, or if you've referred someone recently, we are going to be making you, actually it should be like this, we're going to be making you a tonic live. We'll be creating a tonic for you with the genius frequencies from our session. And I will be sending it to you. I'm going to wrap it in foil, put it in bubble wrap, and put it in a mailer, and I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. So that is something that Karen and I will be talking about health, about genius testing, and then we'll be doing live sessions on Thursday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock. That's going to be 6 o'clock Pacific time. So my apologies to our wonderful friends from the UK. This is not a very UK or Europe friendly time, and I do apologize. We're just trying some different times. Of course, we keep this one in the morning so that it can be inclusive to many, many people. So let's go ahead and look at the aura. We're going to do one more because it feels like we need to do one more drill down here, and then we'll be done. I hope it's provided some helpful information for Relaxa, and I hope that you'll share this with the people I know that you're working with in your health center. We'd love to introduce them to the genius, and we're certainly available to talk to you and do any type of demonstrations. Anyone you're referring for the genius, please send them to awakentotalhealth.com, awakentotalhealth.com. That's where they can talk to me personally and get all of my support and information about the genius. So we're moving into even, I think, a higher energy. This looks very soothing, very calming, very healing. Wonderful, wonderful effect going on here. Just a wonderful receptivity to these energies. So let's do one more drill down. I always love the drill down process of doing 1 minute drill downs because it allows the person to tell their story, the greater story of what's going on with them. And if you have the oil on point panel, you want to get this worksheet where we do all the emotions and we look at the pattern of the emotions and then give them affirmations at the end. So if you have the oil on point panels, remember to ask for this worksheet and make sure you get the worksheet, the video, and the process guide. That's all included in the Young Living. If you don't have it, just send me an email or go to my website, awakentotalhealth.com, and write a message to me in the chat, and I'll be happy to help you with that. So what we got here was GABA, about calming down the brain, inflammation, and again, this looks like some trauma clearing here. Brain power on the roof of the mouth and suck thumb, that's like a childhood thing, of course. And then Laurel Nobilis, we'll look at this, Loris Nobilis on the aorta. So circulation, maybe to the brain. Norepinephrine, the infection, resveratrol. And then there's another one. Let's just look at the top two and we'll include all three. So we're going to go to brain power. Now this was, the whole thing was about the brain, right? So that makes sense. Brain power. And then this sounds like a childhood thing. And then brain or roof of the mouth. So this is, oh, maybe this is what was really going on. We're kind of getting to the root of things now. Brain fog. Is that what was going on? Brain fog. That's brain power. It says brain fog, which isn't an emotion. So I think this is going to be another thing that'll be really interesting to ask Carolyn about. Brain fog is really not an emotion, but yet it's listed as the emotion, as many sort of oddities of, they're not really emotions, but they somehow represent the lesson that Carolyn is trying to. We almost need 300 of these interpretations, and some of those we'll be able to derive from talking to Carolyn directly, and that's what the introduction in the class is all about. So then Loris, let's go ahead and look at that one. And okay, so Loris Nobilis or White Angelica on the aorta is perfect ending, you guys. Consciousness shifting. Consciousness shifting. So absolutely perfect ending. We're going to play that frequency for 1 minute and we'll sort of wrap up from there. Okay. So excellent, you guys. Really nice commentaries. Somebody says, is there a chemtrail effect going on? Probably always, all the time, right? And we've gotten lots of great recommendations here. And let's see if we have anything else. Liza had a great comment. Liza, thank you so much. She says she used the respiratory panels with great positive effect on her clients. They really, really worked and made a change. So thank you for sharing that, Liza. I really appreciate your input tremendously. And I'm just having a little trouble finding that original comment, but I think we got the idea. So good stuff. And we're going to take a final look at the aura, you guys, in just a moment. Thumb on the roof of the mouth puts you in an alpha brain state, calming. I like that, Penelope. Thank you. Sucking creates a vortex up. Why we, Gary Young, we did with frankincense. Don't totally understand that, but I think, you guys get the thing there. So just one more time, see if I can find this comment in here. Thanks, you guys, for your excellent commentary and comments and ideas today. It's been great. I can't find it. Okay, so let's just do one more look at the aura, and then we'll wind up for the day. Be sure to sign up for the classes and get the links and so forth. If you didn't get something, it'll come out in the newsletter, or just send me an email. I'll be happy to provide you with a link. Thank you for your participation. If you have cases, your clients you want me to look at, be sure to send them to me in advance. I knew this would happen, you guys. This is going to look like a little bit of a retrograde, but I'm going to do some harmonizing on you after class. What happened is we sort of went back in. We were had gone to an elated peak, and then we sort of are going back into the depth of the stuff, and we're getting more into the physical. So I'm going to do some little bit of harmonizing after class to sort of get everything, put everything together. But let's look at it over time here. Let me just turn this off for 1 second. So let me just go back to the photos and let's look at where we started. We started here. What happened there? Okay, so let me turn this off. All right, so we started here. We went here. That's the same one. Okay, no, that was 3 different ones, right? So we started here, then we went to here, and we sort of got to this elated wonderfulness. Then we sort of dove back into the physical. So it's almost like we were able to get to a place where we're able to dive at a deeper level. And so I'm going to do some harmonizing afterwards. But I do think that the brain fog is going to clear a bit. I do think you're going to feel better overall. And I think this was a great case, 2 great cases today, you guys. So thank you so much. I'll send some solfeggio tones up into the quick zap and do some harmonizing after class. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions at all, send me a message at awakentotalhealth.com. Just go to the bottom right of the website and you'll see a message area there, a chat area, and I'll be available for some additional time, or probably throughout the day. You can send me a message there, and please send your prospects to awakentotalhealth.com. That's where they can get my packages and get my customer support. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful, blessed day, much abundance, and have a just really healthy, successful week. Take care. Bye-bye for now.